100% of Donkey Kong Bananza. That means collecting all 1,000 Banandium gems, 696 fossils, and 110 music discs, completing the entire skill tree, and finishing the main story and post-game in their entirety. And boy, oh boy, I was not expecting the ending of this game or how much I would absolutely fall in love with it. Golden bananas? Hasty rumors have lured prospecting monkeys to a strange isle? The moon's a banana. Our story begins in the mines of Ingot Isle, where monkeys dig for golden bananas. Warning, authorized monkeys only. I am possibly the most authorized monkey, if I do say so myself. Almost instantly, I caught sight of my first banana, but instead of grabbing it, I instead took some time to explore. Wait, I can punch anything? I'm punching, like, the ground, and there's money in it. Okay, hold on. That banana's gonna have to wait a second. Coin! What the heck is that? Banandium chip. Gonna be honest, I cannot be left unsupervised with a game about clearing dirt. Literally 222 gold, 11 Banandium chips, and many punches later, I still hadn't even left the first room. Okay, I think it's time to go get the banana. I need to stop getting distracted. Oh, banana. Evidently, these gem-like bananas were all over the mine, and it was my job to dig them out. So, with a smidge more smashing, I made my way down to an ancient cave in Sublayer 1, reaching my first checkpoint. Oh, it's like a tuning fork! And our second banana. While I hunted, I noticed a lot of the monkeys mentioning a big storm on the way, and going outside, the wind definitely seemed to be picking up. Honestly, though, I was so distracted by all the gold I was finding that I wasn't even worried about it. And through this tunnel was my biggest jackpot yet. A tunnel full of gold with a massive pile of bananas at the very end. Oh my goodness. Turns out, maybe should have been a little bit worried, because as I began my banana feast, the storm worsened, not only confiscating my authorized monkey hard hat, but yoinking all my bananas too. Oh, poor Donkey Kong. What is this? This isn't just like your average tornado. No? I know this doesn't happen when there's tornadoes. I may not know much, but I know that's not normal. Somehow the storm amassed into a giant ball and plunged into the earth, leaving a massive hole with all of monkey kind inside. This, of course, included me, and following a slight roadblock, I frantically began tunneling through the collapsed mine in search of my simian brethren. DK, you're okay? I'm doing great, actually. Thank you for asking. I have almost $2,000. Seeing Ingot Isle collapsed in the deep underground was a surreal sight, and as I overlooked the scene, a small purple object fell from the sky. What the heck is that thing? Did you lose your britches when the mine collapsed? Oh yeah, I'm naked now. What the heck happened? Not only was I britchesless, but further up the path, a strange metal had flowed out of a mysterious gizmo, sealing everything underneath it. Even I, the fearsome Donkey Kong, couldn't destroy it, but it seemed as if the source was our mysterious fallen object, so I went off to investigate. It says void? Hair off. Oh my gosh, chill, DK, chill! It's a little creature! I immediately chased after the sentient purple rock and found it trembling in fear. Ripping it forcefully out of the ground didn't seem to have helped the situation, so instead, I tried to soothe it with my beautiful dulcet tones, earning myself a little buddy. Is that Pauline? You can now use the power of the Odd Rock's voice. Super cool thing too is that you can actually play co-op at this point with one person as Donkey Kong and the other as the Odd Rock. I mean, I won't be doing that, but you can. As it turns out, music was a far better and much less destructive strategy, and using the power of song, we were able to clear the tape on the seal and destroy it, freeing everything stuck in the metal, including our next barrel cannon to Baboom Town. Baboom Town's been burglarized. Have you noticed every single banana we dug up has vanished? I did notice that, yeah. You'll help us get all our bananas back, right? Of course. Our only lead was that something fishy was going on at the top of the banana mine. Didn't it feel awesome to encounter this skeleton on the way? I mean, surely that doesn't mean anything and won't come back into play later. But with another void seal destroyed and these thorny vines cleared, the Odd Rock and I finally made it to the top. Have you seen the summit? There's a weird stake with a mean-looking face stuck up there. It's that banana bandit. His flying dirt pile put it there. I saw it. Unafraid, we headed straight to the summit to confront the banana bandit, but before I had the chance to destroy the stake, a crocodile skeleton, just like the one we'd seen earlier, morphed into a crocoid. I smacked him around a bunch and actually destroyed him extremely easily, earning myself the key and giving this monkey head the classic Donkey Kong rough-up, causing the entire summit to collapse. Is everyone okay? At the very least, I was not okay, landing hard on my Patukas and then having the Odd Rock land right on top of me. Dive after the bananas? Gladly. With my sentient rock friend attached to me, I jumped into the abyss in pursuit of the bananas, but to my shock, I was no longer in some dark cave. Instead, we were skydiving into the Lagoon Layer. Banana? Oh, banana. Upon collecting these 5 Banandium gems, I'd earned my first skill point, which I immediately used to upgrade my health. Yeah, this game has a freaking skill tree, which is so cool. And I mean, let's be honest, Donkey Kong's got a lot of room for improvement. Status naked. So true. Monkeys! That wasn't very respectful, DK. Crab! Oh, whoa, it's such a talented... No! A bad first impression, to say the least, and I probably only made things worse by destroying the bedrock of this lagoon in pursuit of our very first fossils. That's 2 ammonite down, 61 to go in this layer. You're the ones who fell down here just now? Well, something about your face tells me you ain't exactly a bad feller. Thank you. I have done terrible things since I landed, but I appreciate that. As I went on chatting with the salvager monkeys, I got a better idea of the problems these lagoon folks were facing, namely pesky buzzoids throwing boulders and messing up their precious water reservoir. Thankfully, though, the locals seemed very encouraging of my destructive tendencies and entrusted me with literal explosives. That stuff can blast through anything, even solid concrete. I endeavored to handle them responsibly, and with the buzzoids taken care of, hopped into my first battle challenge. What? So these are basically timed mini-boss challenges, and with how fast I defeated my first crocoid not too long ago, 3 in 30 seconds was a piece of cake. I was even rewarded with a banana before bumping into yet another salvager monkey with water supply issues. But this time, it wasn't just buzzoids. A void stake was plugging this hole, stopping any water from flowing down to the lower levels. Have no fear, DK is here. I made quick work of this crocoid and used the key to destroy the stake, allowing the water to flow once more. But before following my triple nanner prize into an even deeper hole, I decided to explore the upper levels of the reservoir and discovered my first challenge course. Thanks to this red balloon, I was able to navigate the obstacle course and collect all 3 bananas without falling to my untimely demise, using our next skill point to upgrade my hand slap collection range. I continued to go around collecting bananas and found my first apple juice, which basically revives all your hearts if you die. And I also fought off hordes of peekaboo-poids to destroy yet another void stake. Fantastic name for a fantastic creature, by the way. This time, though, I decided to hop in and follow the bananas to the layer below. Are you the ones who got the water flowing from above? The water level's going up, but it's still a bit shallow down here. Oh, there's more. Gotta find a way to destroy that concrete pillar. Traversing the Orangahang Highway, I got into position and chucked Boom Bomb at the concrete pillars, raising the water levels and the bridge that connected the island to the Elder Monkey's court. With another banana downed, I presented myself to Kong Elder, who asked me what I was looking for. Bananas! Not me embarrassing myself in front of Kong Elder with the worst voice crack of all time, my god. Still, they saw potential in us. Odd Rock with their musical talent, me with my physical strength. We had what it took to perform. Bananza! Like the game? Learning a Bananza requires just one thing, an ancient record. But the Bananza all over the place. My task was to bring the ancient record to Kong Elder's turntable, and with this third and final concrete pillar down, I had done it. Let's see what this little ditty is. The record started spinning, the room went dark, and suddenly, we were at a rave. Oh my god! And thumping my chest seemed to take the music to a whole new level. Odd Rock even started glowing, but then... It was Pauline! I was kidding! We needed Pauline's voice to get the Bananza to work, but her stage fright was holding her back. With a bit of my percussive encouragement, Pauline took hold of the mic, belted out my name, and simple as that... Kong Bananza! What is going on? The vibes were crazy. I was conged out with a head full of bananas, Pauline was dancing, and decidedly not a rock anymore. Kong Elder was bumping, as were the salvager monkeys. But that wasn't all. Using my Kong Bananza powers, I could smash through steel walls. And collecting gold allows you to recharge your Bananergy to activate Kong Bananza again. When I awoke, the party was over, but what felt like a fever dream was indeed reality, as Pauline was no longer a rock, but instead, a whole girl. I missed the rock! No offense to Pauline, I just liked the rock. I liked how it would go, ugh, you know? Rock or human, Pauline and I were now companions, committed to finding our way home together, but the path forward was not so simple. To get home, you'll have to dive deeper, all the way to the planet core. We who live in the underground world have passed down a certain legend. Those who reach the planet core will earn their greatest wish and more, yo. There was a catch, though. Some not-so-friendly folks were on their way to the planet core as well, and I had a feeling they had something to do with the massive ball that sent Ingot Island to the ground, all the void stakes and purple metal clogging up the Lagoon Layer, and this super evil, suspicious-looking monkey lady wearing high heels. Who is that? Seems imperative to figure out, really, so it's good that instead, I decided to go clothes shopping. Yes! Finally, I can put some freaking pants on. Yeah? Riches no longer, Pauline and I were fully welcomed into Fisher Monkey Society, and since we'd spent basically all our fossils, I decided to look for more, stumbling across our largest find yet. What is that? Can I get that fossil? Let's go! That's a whale? What are you? Turns out, these little elevators were a form of fast travel, teleporting you across different areas in your current layer. Very handy, but for now, I was content to explore the island on foot, finding fossils, challenge rooms, and even a fun bonus stage level. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. How much did we get? That is so much money. But more shocking than all of this, I bumped into a familiar Kong as well, standing all alone on this island. It's me, Cranky. Are you so dense you forgot your own family? Right, Cranky. How's you been going to? Cranky went on a long rant about the spineless banana thieves he was trying to stop, and I kind of just stared blankly and nodded along until he like jingled keys in my face. Here, I got something for you. Banana! Cranky, where the heck were you hiding that thing? Cranky! Honestly, I was having the time of my life just roaming around the world, pausing to scan my surroundings, and then spotting a yellow fruit in the distance and going, banana! And after doing this for a good while, I'd managed to collect all the available Banandium gems up until this point. This left only the fossils, and I had a brilliant strategy for finding them. Sometimes when you dig in the terrain, you'll unearth treasure chests, and inside, you can get fossil maps that reveal the location of one fossil. So, I was just gonna get all of those. In theory, fantastic idea, but in practice, it also meant lots of melon juice, gold, and balloons. Give me the locations to the fossils, and nobody gets hurt. With a couple maps collected, I realized the remaining fossils were mostly hidden in the lagoon's lower layers, an area I'd barely touched. There were ammonites just hanging out in the open, and moving along into the container cavern behind Kong Elder, I spotted another wedged into the wall. I crave archaeological discovery. What is that noise? Oh my gosh! Eventually, with the 10th and final Anomalocaris in hand, we had collected all the bananas and fossils. Sick! Alright, let's proceed with the game. Proceeding meant approaching this suspiciously boss arena flavored area. Music is scary. Let's replace it. Ooh, 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 ooh. Sure enough, there they were. The Banana Bandits, and the one who turned Pauline into a rock in the first place, Void Kong, president of the Void Company and mastermind behind every evil monkey face we'd destroyed up to this point. Evidently, the Void Company was a powerful mining empire, and they'd just launched their latest extraction venture. With the push of a button on his banana-shaped remote, Void Kong began his descent to the next layer, but not before sending out Grumpy to take back Pauline. You need sleep, it appears. Grumpy tossed out some kind of Void Kong token, and before I knew it, Peekaboopoids were raining from the sky like cephalopod confetti, mashing together into a massive, aggressive creature. Pika Bruiser? Yo, I kind of like the guy. Whoa, whoa! How did you already lose health? I haven't even done anything yet. Despite being comprised of like hundreds of Peekaboopoids, the Pika Bruiser didn't pose much of a challenge, though the battle was incredibly overwhelming. Oh my days, oh my days. There are so many octopi! Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. With just a bit of struggle, I finally destroyed the Void token that started this mess. Following a quick dance party, I snagged the last of the clothing upgrades from the Lagoon shopkeep and said my goodbyes to everyone. Yes, even Grumpy. Oh, wait, Grumpy's so sad. You beat my best work. Can't believe it. The boss gave me direct orders to capture you, so I'll finish the job next time. Like I'm right here. You know, that's fine. I respect your decision. And with the Lagoon Layer fully complete, Pauline and I dove headfirst toward our next destination, the Hilltop Layer. Everything's bananas. I feel like I'm home. Who's this? Hey, little buddy. No need to be concerned. Hello. Honestly, given my track record with destroying rocks, I think there's quite a cause for concern. It's our privilege to welcome you to Fractone Village. Oh, thank you. We've looked like this since we formed. For Fractone folk rocks the norm. Is this gonna be how it is the whole time? This little rhyme thing? Immediately after this welcoming, I made a beeline for the Fractone Village Challenge course. A super cool platformer where I had to toss rocks to solidify moving platforms. I did some light landscaping, played hide and seek with a hidden tone for a banana, and even picked up an incredible new skill, turf surfing. This is sick! Yo! Also, turns out not only were there little elevators, but if I smack this gong, I can also summon the mother elevator to transport me between layers, not just within them. That's gonna be so helpful. The small shopping center in Fractone Village was actually quite lovely as well. For one, I learned you could actually buy fossil and banana maps with gold. I exchanged some chips for a Banandium gem with this chip tone, upgrading my punch power. And I even bought this new yellow fur to match my favorite fruit, a banana. My favorite fruit is a banana. Is that Cranky over there? Cranky! What the? How do you expect me to get over there, buddy? I'll deal with him later. There were huge things happening in the Hilltop Layer. As I pressed on, I encountered for the first time in my DK career a surface I could not climb. Just kind of slid down awkwardly. After purchasing some real estate for 100 gold from this architect tone, I bumped into this Fractone who taught me the art of chunk jumping. Basically, the idea is to tear off a chunk of rock and throw it down on the ground to get a bit of extra height. Using this technique, I made it to the top, lobbing one last chunk at a poor, innocent Fractone who absolutely did not deserve that. But my payback arrived moments later when I tried to turf surf across this pool of spiky balls. Oh my gosh. I might just lock in. That was a disaster. With another little tune, Pauline and I cleared all the void covering this massive banana monolith, as well as our next Banandium gem. And using my advanced turf surfing skills, I made my way on over. Whee! At the very base of the bananolith, I found this timed race course where I basically needed to navigate a spiky path while turf surfing, and I was definitely cutting it close on my first attempt. I'm like maybe just gonna make it. Oh, that was like so close. To get the second banana in this room though, I would need to finish with at least 20 seconds on the clock. A horrific ask, but I knew there must be a way. At one point, I fell off the ball and onto the spikes, chugging an apple juice to stay alive, and almost immediately after, fell off the entire track. Twice. I can do this. I can do this. I in fact could not do this for some reason. Eventually though, I hit a good run and managed to reach the finish line with only a second to spare, officially collecting all 3 Banandium gems from the course. Some bananas were definitely easier than others. That one, disastrous. This one, for talking to a smash and tone and having destroyed 20,000 cubic meters of stone. Easy peasy. And with that banana, I had finally made it to the bananolith that was covering the way down to the next layer. According to this construct tone, punching through it wasn't an option, so for the small fee of 3,000 gold, they instantly demolished the entire thing. However, like before, we still had some loose ends to tie up in the Hilltop Layer first, one of which was talking to Cranky. Somehow he'd isolated himself once again on some like unreachable island, and not even the chunkiest of chunk jumps could make the gap. I don't think I was even close. Can I just bring Cranky down? Oh, I am so sorry, Cranky. Listen up and listen good. It'd serve you well to hear this, okay? Literally, as soon as Cranky said this, my brain completely tuned out, but I did get my banana in the end. And for the next while, I spent time finishing up all the collectibles. Fossil, you can't escape me. One really cool thing that I just have to yap about. At the bottom of this shaft, I found the best challenge course of all time. Oh goodness, Nostalgia Country. No way! This is so cool! I really was just having the time of my life. I even used the skill points I've been saving to fully max out my sonar range. But in all this fun, I somehow only managed to get 2 out of the 3 bananas, so back in I went. Oh! It's my house! Wait, this is so cool! It's my son, Diddy! Where is Diddy Kong, by the way? Though I had unfinished business in the Hilltop Layer, I was way too excited to continue forward, so I smashed yet another void stake and dove right in. Whoa. And not long after landing... Oh! Pika Bruiser Battle! I just got a record? Not only did we obtain our second record, absolutely no clue when I got the first, but the Canyon Layer had 71 total fossils to find. This is gonna be another really big layer. Just like in the previous layer, I found some fractones here in distress following an attack by the Void Company. Of course, I agreed to help chase off the banana burglars and hopped into a minecart heading toward the village. Oh, this is so cool. Thus, we'd arrived at Longneck Plateau Village, and the residents here filled me in on their Banandium refinery, the place where they converted Banandium gems into energy, which was now under Void Company's control. And honestly, I was like, okay, wow, that sounds like a lot. Hold that thought, please. But before I continue here, I think I want to go back to the previous layer just to finish 100%ing it. It just doesn't feel right, you know? I gotta get everything before I can continue on with the story. For the first time, I hopped in the mommy elevator, and with 7 bananas and 4 fossils left to find, got back to work. I see a fossil! I see a fossil! I've hit the mother lode. Wait, it's a small child. But I soon found the parent to this child and helped to reunite their family for a banana. With Kong Bananza, I found a couple more gems locked behind steel walls, but brute force wasn't gonna help me find the final banana in the Hilltop Layer. I just noticed there's a floating platform up there with a banana. With one beautifully thrown chunk, I brought the platform down, obtaining the last banana, and not long after, grabbed the final 2 fossils. Having collected everything and purchased all the items in the shop, the Hilltop Layer was officially completed, meaning we could now tackle the Canyon Layer with our full attention. But instead of heading to the refinery, I decided to do some more good old-fashioned exploring. Using my newly upgraded sonar, I found a bunch of leaf fossils, a trilobite, a couple bananas, as well as a place to construct a new rail system. This allowed me to access another part of the island where I built my first canyon getaway. After a quick nap, I did some shopping and then bought even more real estate. Oh, 2 heart bonus. That's so sick. And my housing portfolio only continued to grow as I reached Big Stretch Peak and purchased my 4th property. As I continued to explore around and try to find collectibles though, I accidentally bumped into an old pal. It's Grumpy! Grumpy wasted no time making up for his earlier defeat, constructing this massive, thing to finish the job. Grumpy Kong. I am just gonna mess this guy up. Charge punch. Boom. Boom. Oh, shoot. Grumpy's pickaxe didn't stand a chance against my flurry of punches, and I knocked the guy out with ease. You beat me fair and square. Come on, take what's yours. Oh, thank you. They could so easily be like, I'm not going to let you proceed anyway, even though you beat me. He might be grumpy, but he's honorable. Honestly, had no intention of even entering this battle, but in defeating Grumpy Kong, I had unlocked the path to the heart of the banana refinery. Before diving in, I continued to add to my property holdings, gaining even more bonus hearts and allowing me to focus on fully upgrading my punch power. And with half the trilobites collected and a banana banana extracted from Grumpy's nose, I took the leap and spun into the heart of the refinery. Let me tell you, this was quite the operation. With a huge mixer at the center, the Banandium was being melted down and blended in overdrive thanks to the Void Company, and if things continued at this rate, the whole thing was gonna explode. Well, that's not good. I was committed to not letting that happen and hopped on another minecart, hurling boom bombs to gather golden fossils. Whoa! Wasn't able to get this lovely specimen the first time around, but on a second pass... Yes! Can I, like, jump off? No. Oh, I can! Oh, I can! Against my better judgment, I decided to jump out of the cart in pursuit of a banana. I know not how I will escape this situation, but for now, banana. This little detour actually ended up working out in the end because in clearing up the void tape, I hopped on a minecart that took me directly to the Banandium refinery mixer. Is bro good? The idea was to ride around and collect boom bombs to throw at the mad mixer, and saying this was my favorite boss fight thus far would be a serious understatement. This is like my favorite boss battle I've done in a game in a really long time. It just tickled my brain. I can't explain it. After a couple loops, I lobbed the final bomb, triggering a massive explosion that toppled this giraffe-shaped exhaust pipe, opening the way to the next portion of the canyon layer. Rest in peace, Mad Mixer. Truly, taken from us too soon. I will dearly miss fighting you. But, wouldn't you know it, the first battle challenge in this new canyon area was none other than a minecart fight. Yes! This is everything I dreamed of! One more banana down the hatch. As I checked out the new layer, I came across this tree for the first time that asked to be fed gold for bananas. I had no shortage of money, so I thought, what the heck? Can't be too bad. That's a lot of gold. Yeah, no, take it, take it. Oh, more? I don't even know how much that was. Honestly, don't think I want to know. I mean, at the very least, we have 3 more bananas, which is huge. Stop. Not another house. I have so much real estate. But despite all my bananas, buffs, and properties, the Void Company was still causing trouble. When I spoke to this giraffe fractone, they told me that the banana bandits had brought a monster with giant feet to haul the bananas to Click Clack Smokestack. Okay. Very troubling indeed, but before continuing on, I wanted to finish collecting all the bananas up to this point, which was easier said than done. I'm seeing a pipe on the map and I can't find it in real life. Where is it? Here. There's like a cage and a pipe. I've never been there. It's like under me. I'm just digging down. I'm not digging down. I've been stopped. I'm losing it, folks. After 15 minutes of struggling, I decided it would probably be best to continue on with story progression and entered the smokestack. Upon arriving, I picked up yet another getaway, and after this huge jump from the top of the refinery terrace, oh my gosh, that was crazy. I managed to unearth the final leaf fossil. Looks like that was our last fossil, so now we just have 2 bananas, I believe? Checking the bottom of smokestacks proved to be a fantastic strategy, but I was left with 1 final banana to get. This felt like as good a time as any to do some shopping, buying out the entire selection of canyon attire, and purchasing a map that would theoretically point me to the last banana. Theoretically. Okay, well, this isn't very helpful because clearly I don't know how to get there. I can't find it. Stop. Don't tell me that all I had to do was go down this. I'm gonna actually lose my cool if that's the truth. Oh my god. Oh, I hate it. I mean, for better or for worse, though, we have officially completed every single banana in the canyon layer. Wow, look at all those bananas. And every single fossil. Some days. Anyway, on to the next layer. Oh, wait, no. On to the boss battle. I totally forgot. Those are some big feats. So that huge banana hauling monster the Fractone mentioned, this was definitely that guy. Stompin' Clomper? Okay. Though its name was Stompin' Clomper, I would say I was truly the one stomping on clompers in this arena. I am in the head. I'm stomping clomping it. Well, that presents a slight challenge. I made it through the first stage of the fight without my Bananza, but was forced to activate it when the Stompin' Clomper re-emerged in its metal form. Even so, he was no match for my relentless punches. I took him down without a single hit of damage, and as is tradition, Pauline and I did our celebration dance. We're such a cute little team. And Pauline is so confident now. I love that for her. Okay, so we have everything officially done here. I think it's time to just go. As we plummeted toward the next layer, Pauline filled me in about Void Kong and his banana theft scheme. A very normal and safe time for this conversation. She detailed the Void Company's canyon layer takeover, explaining that the big machine they'd been riding around in needed tons of energy to dig to the planet core, hence the Mad Mixer and the Banandium refinery. I'm just glad someone's paying attention to the plot because I was on a whole other wavelength. Woohoo! Who's this little little buddy we have. I love them. Oh, I killed them. Oh, that was really unfortunate. Why did I do that? Although I killed our tour guide, we made it safely to the divide, where it was immediately clear we had an important decision to make. If we headed right, we'd end up in the forest layer, but if we went left, we'd be in the freezer layer. As I deliberated over this choice, I noticed Ramby, Cranky's rhino, all by his lonesome. Wait, where's Cranky? Cranky? I looked around for the guy with no luck, gathering several bananas instead. I also took on the Layers challenge course, which featured a super cool, like, goo mirroring mechanic. Basically, removing goo from one area caused it to appear in the exact same configuration in another linked space. Having snagged those bananas, as well as another from the battle challenge, it was down to the final one, and I had a feeling it was in Cranky's back pocket, or wherever he keeps them. I don't know. And as always, he was just hanging out alone on a floating island. What a weird guy. I brought him down, and one rant later, I'd gotten all 9 bananas for the layer, meaning it was time to choose forest or freezer. And I will not lie, meeting this little squirrel on the forest path introduced some crazy bias. Pauline, you're being replaced. Another squirrel. This one has like a nut. Wait. Enhance. Enhance. What is bro munching on? Is it obvious? I was like 10 hours into this recording. Beaky, what? First thing, I climbed up this tree to get a better view of my surroundings. It's like Eggland. Oh, where am I? Yeaver? Oh my gosh. I'm in Canada. It pains me to say, but a rather vexing chap by the name of Void came through here not long ago. A wicked thorn infestation and flood of poison have plagued us ever since. You should make your way to the Eggshell Hotel then. They are eggs. A word to the wise. This seed has mysterious powers. When it strikes a tree, a branch will grow. Wait, that's so cool. I threw a seed to grow a natural bridge across and continued my path toward the Eggshell Hotel, finding this petrified pig. The fossils in this layer are genuinely peak. On the road to the Eggshell Hotel, I found yet another record. 6 out of 110, doing great. And initial impressions of this hotel so far, really, like, not the easiest to get to. There's spiky thorns to navigate around, pools of poison to jump over, and I was still getting suckered into buying getaways whilst heading toward a literal hotel. What is the point? Still, I carried on trucking and clearing thorns, which were honestly fighting back a little. Like, if I had luggage, forget about it. And after a long and tumultuous trek, I finally made it to the entrance of the Eggshell Hotel, vaulting myself through the stained glass doors and right in front of the hotel manager, aka the Ostrich Elder. Before speaking with them though, I did some exploring to gather bananas. This hotel is giant. I'm lost in the sauce. With a Banandium gem called Egg Bottom Basement collected, which like, same. Oh, that's not making the cut. I'd reached an area corrupted by the Void Company and tore through the purple gunk, uncovering half of the Ostrich Elder's ancient record. Don't ask me how I did this, but in jumping down to pick it up, I somehow accidentally punted it into a barrel cannon, shooting it off to who knows where, and getting a beaver fossil in the process. I might be the best to ever do it. I followed this ancient record fragment up to the Elder's Hall. First thought, look at those kicks, my god. Second thought, literally where on earth is the record fragment? I wasn't about to admit that I lost half of this sacred relic, so I listened quietly as the Elder explained the Eggshell Hotel's 10-star hospitality rating. Not to be a hater, did not feel like 10 stars to me. Like Kong Elder, this ostrich was a DJ and saw much potential in me, thus offering the greatest amenity the hotel could offer, the Ostrich Bananza. Of course, this required the ancient records, so wish me luck, Elder Ostrich. Okay, well, that's really concerning to me if I'm being completely honest. I'm just gonna carry on. To my surprise, the fragment was exactly where I'd found it originally, and this time, I entered the barrel cannon with a tight grip on this priceless artifact. Please tell me I keep it this time. Yes! Alright, there's half. In no time, I found the second fragment and rode that puppy right into the poison and thorns below. Okay, I'll be the first to say that wasn't very well thought out. After yet another death, I managed to bring it back to the Elder alive, and with the disc now assembled, it was time for another party. Like last time, Pauline got nervous, but with the chest thumping of a lifetime, I encouraged her to take the stage once again, and then suddenly, I was a bird. What? You're seeing things correctly. I was the beefiest, most jacked ostrich I'd ever laid eyes on. What makes even less sense to me is that ostriches are flightless birds, but I was flying all around town. But I'm Donkey Kong. I'm not gonna think about it. Having been bestowed with this new ability, I promised the Ostrich Elder I'd give the Void Company a 10-star Ostrich Bananza beatdown, and then he gave me the old, I hope you enjoyed your stay. Brother, I haven't even been checked into the hotel yet. If it weren't for my precious getaways, I'd have not a pillow upon which to lay my weary monkey head. With another skill point unlocked, I now had access to the Ostrich Bananza skills, which included Glide, Flutter, and the ability to lay eggs that are bombs. Naturally, I opted for Glide, which immediately came in handy to cross this gap, fly up to the key, and unlock the next sublayer down. As bad as things seemed at the Eggshell Hotel, this area was doing much worse, being almost entirely submerged in poisonous goo. Thankfully, with my new ostrich powers, I was able to fly from island to island, killing these poison-spouting plants, which was not only great for general health purposes, but also exposed a massive fossil. Donkey Kong! Climb! Oh my god. Eventually, Eventually, I managed to kill all the goop-spooting weeds and gained access to sublayer 602. As I descended, it seemed like my surroundings continued to get more and more purple. The smog, the thorns, the poison. It all traced back to a single seed planted by the Void Company, which had grown into a sprawling mass of toxic flora. That's probably awesome for Pauline's development. I knew it was up to me to get rid of it and took advantage of the updrafts to soar straight to Broodbud Isle. This wasn't as simple as clearing a couple poisonous plants though. This thing was an abracadabra, and the jabia part was no joke. Literally on my first approach, I got poked by one of the thorns and fell into the poisonous goo below. The next went much smoother though, as I cleared the thorns and reached the abracadabra's core, smacking the heck out of the thing. And following a couple rounds of such disrespect, it had been defeated. I returned to the main area of the forest layer victorious, hoping to see how things had improved with this monstrous weed gone, but oddly, everything was still about the same. This didn't deter me as I went on the hunt for my final Banandium gems, but similarly to the canyon layer, I literally couldn't find the final 3 bananas. Even getting maps didn't help because allegedly they were just floating in the air, which was literally false. Still, I did manage to get the final fossils, so I left bananas numbers 77 to 79 up to future Charlie and dove back to the junction where everything in sight was coated purple. Oh, uh-oh. What the heck is this? This is not good. With Pauline's voice in my fists, we took out this void seal, clearing the metal and reactivating the bridge to the next area, but the path to the Void Company's massive dirt pile would not be so easy. That bridge had sunk under the weight of the purple metal, and the seal to clear it was way beyond reach. For a moment, I was genuinely confused until a helpful fractone mentioned the elevator portal nearby. Oh, so I have to go through the freezer layer in order to finish the junction. Oh. Turns out, the only way to get to the planet's core was to go back up to the divide and follow the freezer path. I bombed the hill down to a little ice cream scoop hut and met my first zebra, who told me the weather in this layer had been worsening. I followed a path of fossils deeper into the layer and was quickly pointed in the direction of the cooling tower. And if my time in the canyon and forest layers has taught me anything, it's that Voidco taking over the cooling tower was definitely the cause of this colder weather. We immediately headed in that direction, embarrassingly falling through this crumbly bridge into like sub-zero temperature water. As I reached the cooling tower though, I realized we had a massive problem. Only zebras could cross the crumbly bridges, and I am not a zebra. Thankfully though, I do have a proven track record of being able to turn into other animals, so my next order of business was seeing the zebra elder. Of course though, the banana bandits had blocked the way to the village. Using my sonar skills, I was able to locate the void seal easily and open the cool stripe cavern entrance. The icy surface left me with no choice but to work on my figure skating, but it was not enough to prepare me for the battle challenge. I needed to defeat 5 anticoids while navigating a thin, winding path of slippery ice. Turns out, killing little insects while skating is not easy, but on my 3rd attempt, I realized I could keep the skating to a minimum and handle the anticoids with a couple well-aimed ice throws. It's true, I barely skated. I pushed on into the cool striped cavern, collecting bananas as I went until I reached the exit. But instead of some snowy little village, I was surprised to drop into a sublayer filled with both ice and what I thought was lava. Turns out, it was molten hot chocolate, which the zebras used to make their choco bananas. The elder of the Cantor Creamery village was just up ahead, conveniently past this molten chocolate waterfall. Thankfully, chunks of ice were falling from the sublayer above, allowing me to neutralize the chocolate and make my way to the village. As a reward for braving such a trek, I got myself a banana from the chip exchange for 50 Banandium chips and an 180 gold handling fee. It wasn't even a choco banana. This economy is abhorrent. But my banana sadness was quickly cast out of mind as I met with the zebra elder. In the wake of a massive banana robbery that decimated the choco banana commerce of the village, the elder saw only one way forward: to find the 3 record pieces and have a bonanza party. I was right back at it, retrieving the first fragment by activating this ice machine and guiding the little cubes through the chocolate. On my way to get the second fragment, I ran into this Smash-and-Tone who challenged me to smash 20,000 cubic meters of snow for a banana, and when I noticed the boom bombs on the edge of this cliff, I mean, I won't mince words, I decimated the village. I will do anything for a banana. It's really quite concerning. Thankfully, there was no moral burden weighing me down as I continued on collecting the last 2 record fragments, and with those delivered to the turntable, it was bonanza time. With one shout from Pauline, I was suddenly a beefy zebra, and a very fast one too, now able to traverse the zebra-only crumbly bridges and charge dash up walls. With this new bonanza, the cooling tower was now accessible, but when we got there, we found that the main gate had been sealed with more of Voidco's purple metal. When we dropped inside, we came face to face with the suspicious high-heeled monkey lady from earlier, Poppy Kong, Voidco's director of intelligence. She whipped out her invisibility perfume, and you'd expect this to be a major disadvantage in battle, you know, but it wasn't actually too bad, considering her dwindling health bar revealed her exact location. For all her brains and fancy gadgets, she was no match for my brute strength. Gracious in defeat, she gave me the key to the next sub-layer, the interior of the cooling tower. And with some more ice cube guiding, we descended even lower into the tower, discovering the source of all the the molten chocolate. But the problem down here was the total opposite from the main layer above. It was way too hot, to the point where the frozen treats were at risk of melting. Activating this ice cube machine helped me to break through, revealing the cooling tower's compressor, and when I jumped in, the root of the issue immediately became clear. A huge inflamonite was just kicking around in this thing. Now, I'm no technician, but my dad has his fridge repair certification, and he said a ball of molten lava rolling around in your compressor is not normal, so we had to handle this thing as soon as possible. Using some of the falling snow, I cooled the guy down and followed him up the crumbly bridge in my zebra Bananza form. Without any dangerous lava covering it, the ammonite was completely vulnerable to my attacks and went down without much of a fight. Poor little creature. Thus, we had handled all the bosses in the freezer layer, but we still had a ton of bananas and fossils to collect before we were ready to move forward. To start, I spent a small fortune feeding the Growtone tree and nabbed several other bananas nearby before paying Cranky a visit at the top of the cooling tower. I also found the massive fossil up there, an entire T-Rex skeleton. Now, I will be so real with you, it was 3 a.m. at this point. Like, I was really tired, I still had 15 bananas to find, so I just went to the shop and dropped another small fortune, purchasing every map available. I diligently followed the maps, picking up all the remaining bananas and fossils scattered throughout the layer, even making some shaved ice in the process, and purchased all the available clothing from the shop to bookend our time in this little frosty wonderland. I don't know why I wrote that. That sounds so weird. Also, remember those 3 mysterious floating bananas in the forest layer? So I went back to investigate, and it turns out it was literally just a Growtone tree that I hadn't paid off yet. This thing's huge. How did I not see this? With 3,000 more gold down the drain, 3 more bananas munched, and another layer fully 100%ed, it was time to return to the junction. And with both layers now complete, we could fly across, get rid of all the purple metal, and reactivate the bridge, allowing us to reach the dirt pile and continue chasing after Void Kong. But because I'm a completionist, this is not at all what I did, no. Instead, I hunted for the rest of the bananas in the junction first and built a getaway just for the heck of it. Honestly, worst one yet. What is this? Following a quick nap and another rant from Cranky, Pauline and I were finally ready to face Void Kong. And crossing the bridge, we overheard Voidco experiencing a bit of car trouble. Stuck in the junction and defenseless without any banana fuel, this was the perfect opportunity to get the jump on Void Kong. But before we could even get close, he zip-zoomed away, heading to the Hilltop Layer to steal more bananas, which I thought I got them all. Like, how on earth are you finding all these? The Fractones were holding out on me. What's he doing? I don't understand. I'm just gonna go punch. Stop destroying the town. You're so terrible. Right as I got Void Kong to half health, he chickened out and ran off to the Lagoon Layer to pillage their bananas too. For real? He might be a master of his craft. That's 21 more bananas. I won't lie, I was jealous of his banana finding skills and thus continued to put the pressure on Void Kong, doing my best and failing to dodge his attack. Following a final skirmish on top of Kong Elder's head though, I got him to leave the Lagoon Layer. All this chasing was really doing nothing to stop him though, seeing as when I returned to the junction, he'd already used all those stolen bananas to fill up the dirt pile gas tank. This was my last chance, and it was easier said than done. The guy's banana remote control is absolutely busted. As soon as I got some damage on him, he turned on a personal shield, forcing me to destroy these pylons to deactivate it. In doing so, however, his little banana hoverpod began to bug out. His moment of weakness was my opportunity to give the guy a good whooping, and for just a moment, I thought I'd done it. I'd defeated Void Kong. No, still alive and now knows my name. With his dirt pile now fully charged up, he sent us flying and resumed his descent to the planet core, but not without hitting us with a slight curveball. The reason Void Kong wanted Pauline back was because she actually had some kind of special power, and even if she did get to the planet core, her wish allegedly wouldn't even come true. Pauline seemed to be a little more focused on the special power thing, but I was mighty concerned that our entire journey was over before it even really began. Still, we dove right in after the dirt pile together. Ooh, resort layer. Oh, thank goodness. I need a vacation after all that. After chasing Void Kong to the Hilltop Layer and back, some rest and relaxation was sounding real nice, and the resort's local specialty was giant fruit. I soon realized the ginormous fruits weren't the only special thing about this layer, though. When hit, these little sharks called trailphanoids shoot glowing arcs into the sky, forming pathways, and with the help of this one, I got my first resort layer banana. Before long, we'd stumbled across the tropical retreat, and speaking to the locals, we learned that there were way more floating islands to explore than the one we just visited. Okay, gonna have to workshop that one. Luckily, while completing a time puzzle to get rid of these shifty stones, I accidentally discovered a mechanic much more pivotal than the little sharks. What just happened? Oh, I get it. The entire resort layer was lined with a multicolored substance called liftoff ore that, when you grab a chunk, sends you straight up into the air. What the heck is
this?
Using the liftoff ore, I was able to do loads of exploring around the place, grabbing bananas, but our largest goal was to scale the resort's big watermelon. Well, scale is a strong word. We kind of just floated to the top, getting the final Banandium gem, and dive punching that thing, creating the gnarliest crack.
Oh, what have I done? Dig into the big melon. This is weird. This is odd.
Still, I burrowed into the watermelon, digging through the bottom and onto another void seal, which I of course punched. Did not realize it was gonna blow the whole thing up though.
Oh no. Was that like a landmark? I'm really sorry, everyone. That was... Oops.
Having gotten all the bananas and successfully destroyed the centerpiece of this layer, I purchased a bunch of fossil maps and hunted down the leaves until I'd collected all 30. Thus, we concluded our short vacation by buying out all the fur dyes and then jumping right into the big watermelon memorial. In stark contrast to the sunny shores of the resort layer, we landed next in the Tempest Layer, a land full of elephant weather forecasters, and as the name suggested, it was looking quite stormy.
Okay, well, vacation's over. What is that? Is that banana juice? Oh, I hope.
Unlike in the other layers where I'd tear off and start destroying stuff, this time I decided to do the responsible thing and speak with the elephant elder first. Right off the bat, they offered to teach me the elephant Bananza to help navigate the severe weather. All I had to do was say it with me. Retrieve the ancient record, which is in pieces, unfortunately. One hiccup. What I initially thought to be banana juice indeed turned out to just be lava. And the caldera altar where the ancient record is stored sank straight into it. I carefully traversed the purple metal-covered walls and destroyed the seal, restoring the altar. But when I saw the two halves of the ancient record swirling around, I had a feeling I wasn't gonna get the record without a fight.
I fear this is a boss battle, and I have 3 hearts.
Luckily, the sinister Blusterwing immediately started vomiting snow onto the altar, giving me a tool to cool down and get rid of its wings. One string of punches alone was enough to take half his health. Out of desperation, he dug a massive hole through the altar and escaped, spitting the record pieces up in the sublayer below. And the cavern below the altar had its own host of problems. Primarily fiery rain. Kind of a pain, but also easily avoided by holding a chunk above my head. Using my advanced ziplining skills, I collected both the fragments in no time, meaning it was yet again time to party. You know the drill. We play the record, I get percussive for a minute, and then Pauline yells an animal. And this time, I turned into an elephant. Predictably. I mean, you probably guessed that. One who can inhale rocks and lava and then spit out the chunks to ride zip lines. Naturally, as elephants tend to do. And paired with my new Bananza power, we were also given a forecast by the elephant elder. There was a 99% chance that we'd find the Banandium Root, the real prize at the planet's core that holds the magical power to grant wishes. Honestly, 99% felt like good odds to me, but before continuing on toward the planet core, we still needed to 100% this layer. With some anglerfish fossils in hand, I proceeded to uncover a banana hiding in a pool of lava, which, how does that even work? Like, in terms of my internal organs? Health concerns aside, it was undeniably super helpful, so with some skill points I'd been saving up, I decided to upgrade the room in my trunk and increase my inhalation speed. I was now a walking vacuum, and I felt fully prepared for a rematch with the sinister Blusterwing. This time, the snow on the arena was swapped with lava, but he clearly did not expect me to roll up as an elephant capable of inhaling and weaponizing this molten rock.
Go, 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 go!
Yo! This guy was in rough shape at this point. What I didn't realize, though, was that this Blusterwing wasn't just some void co-creation like the Mad Mixer or the Stomping Clomper. It was actually a friendly bird beloved by the elephants that controlled the weather of the underground through song. This explained the recent meteorological chaos, and I was intent on freeing the little guy and restabilizing the weather. And boy, was this necessary, because when I arrived in the next region, it was getting battered by lightning, torrential rain, and like 4 simultaneous tornadoes. Our target had flown toward the Stormy Station Research Outpost, so I set course for there, gathering fossils along the way and trying my best to avoid these lightning strikes. By storing some liftoff ore in my trunk, I ascended all the way to the top of the outpost and hopped in. Without a moment to spare, the sinister Blusterwing clocked me and started whipping up a storm. Not only were we duking it out in the eye of a tornado, but I was also dodging mini tornadoes inside said larger tornado. It was a lot. With the help of my elephant Bananza, I sucked the terrain from the encircling storm and shot it back at the Blusterwing. Fantastic plan in theory.
Could I just hit it, please? Good lord. Of course, the one that I actually hit it with is water.
Luckily, I locked in and managed to throw the final trunk chunk, sending the Blusterwing tumbling down, but not before sending out a final massive gust of wind. I dive punched against the current, slowly descending, and landed the final blow, freeing the poor Blusterwing from its void co-mass.
It's just a little bored. Oh, it's so cute.
having destroyed the mask for good, it was now time to go back through and gather all the collectibles, starting off strong with a lecture from Cranky. One thing I was noticing, there's like a lot of bananas and noses. I don't really get why that's the case. We gotta stop that. In no time, I collected every banana in the layer, and the remaining fossils were easy peasy banana squeezy, so we were off to our next destination, the landfill layer. I dug my way down from the upper pit all the way to the lower pit, eventually landing in Trashtopia. Literally an entire village made out of garbage. Surprisingly, Trashtopia was home to the elevators. I mean, this one even asked how my wiggles were doing. They're doing very well. Thank you for asking. I'll be so for real, I kind of like the landfill layer. It was like really satisfying to dig in the dirt for gems and fossils. Oh, I also love the battle challenge where you just eviscerate 100 peekaboopoids. Like, that was fun. And best of all, our old pal Grumpy was back with the new and improved Pika Bruiser. The Re-Pika Bruiser. Very original name, Grumpy, thank you. It seems like Grumpy had learned from his previous failures and really beefed the guy up, but unbeknownst to him, I too had become beefed, activating my Bananza to take some chunks out of the poor guy. Despite how overwhelming the sheer quantity of peekaboopoids was, I still handled the Re-Pika Bruiser no problem, marking my third victory over Grumpy. I really am sorry, bud. And while Pauline and I soared into the next layer, she actually told me about an elevator that was rumored to be ginormous, just like digging around somewhere in the depths. Okay, very fascinating. I'm sure that won't become relevant later.
Racing layer? Wait, is this fun?
Dare I say?
Wait, it's so cool. There's monkeys!
After so much time partying with ostriches, zebras, and sentient minerals, I was so excited to see a fellow primate, but these weren't just any monkeys. These were my colleagues, my brethren, my fellow miners. Apparently, Voidco's big vortex had sent the monkeys of Ingot Isle all the way down here, and with nothing better to do trapped underground, they used the broken chunks to build a stampede way. Obviously, I needed to give her a spin, and when I went to sign up, I bumped into some familiar faces.
It's Diddy Kong!
Is Diddy Kong my son?
Oh, I could have just like read the screen. No, yeah.
I don't understand, because I thought all the monkeys were related. Like, they're all called Kong, and I'm like, is that a surname, or are we like, what is this? Kong genealogy aside, apparently Diddy and Dixie were my original banana-finding friends. Sorry, Pauline. I mean, if it makes you feel better, I did forget about them entirely. Kind of a letdown, though. There literally wasn't even a prize for winning the Ramby Rumble. Like, no bananas, even. The reward was literally to stand on top of a really big trophy, which apparently had a tunnel underneath it. I guess that's what you get when the race is organized by two children. Diddy and Dixie were incredibly formidable opponents, though, so I needed to take this seriously, and after a single, slightly overwhelming lap on the race course, I was ready. One thing, how is it fair that they get to start like 20 Ramby links ahead of me? No matter, thanks to my immense skill, I was still able to tail them and use their liftoff ore boosts to catch up. The race was pretty neck and neck right down to the final stretch, but some good platforming and a well-timed boost sent me through the finish line in first place.
First try? I mean, okay, I'll take it.
Having clutched the victory, I earned my very cool prize, a barrel cannon to the top of the trophy. To be fair, the thing is made entirely of gold, so if I'm ever low on funds, I know where to go. But our fun had come to an end, and it was now time to tackle the Radiance Layer. For being called the Radiance Layer, it seemed pretty dark, but I soon learned that Void Kong had come through and stolen these snake's precious light source, a synthetic sun made of glowing stones that occur naturally in the layer. Of course, Void Kong and crew had placed a stake to stop me from reviving it, going so far as to put the key way out of reach. This seemed like an issue that maybe the next Elder could help me with, so I set a course to meet with them. Not to be a hater, but I feel like the Snake Elder totally could have just stood up and like handed me the key, no problem, but of course, I needed to once again locate all the fragments of their ancient record. And this time, the vinyl was broken into 4 pieces, stuck inside various art installations. This one in a cave all alone represents the bleakness of solitude. This one demonstrates the self-agency as a comforting myth, and this one is, I don't know, kind of just a dark cave. At last, with all the fragments collected, it was time to Bananza, and can I just say, Pauline seemed so much more confident now compared to when we started our journey. Without any need for encouragement, she was asking me for a beat now. And with a strong snake shout, I was now a snake with arms. I don't know what to say about that, really. I mean, being a super jack 2-armed snake did come with its benefits, including a double jump, which I admittedly struggled with, and also the glare, which allows you to slow the passage of time. Just snake things, I guess. With the Snake Bananza now part of my zoological arsenal, the Snake Elder let me in on a secret. The gold that I've been collecting on my journey was actually part of the Banandium Root itself, growing out from the planet core. Go figure. With my new vertical abilities, I was now able to reach the Void State key, dropping into the next sublayer and finding my first rarest Banandium gem preserved in these crystals. But the real focus of this very dim and dark sublayer was the colossal snake tower that contained a switch on the top floor to reignite the synthetic sun. Of course, this meant I needed to work my way up from the bottom, dodging flaming barrels to get to it. And by dodging, I mean getting hit over and over again until I eventually just reached the top. I freed this little snakehead light switch from the void container, turning the light back on, and wow, turns out the sun is bright. With it back on, all the solar activated doors were now up and running, including the passage to the lower levels of the Radiance Layer. Right as I arrived though, I noticed the Voidco logo on a floating battle arena with none other than Poppy Kong. Evidently, she'd upgraded her invisibility perfume. No idea if her upgrades were any good because the thin layer of snow on the ground just straight up revealed her location, so gigantic oversight on her part. I took advantage of this blunder and absolutely eviscerated her so badly that she quit. Like, literally resigned from Voidco. With no reason to get in our way anymore, she willingly handed over the key, unlocking the next sublayer. Our dearest pal Grumpy had not given up yet though, having passed through, grumbling something about clobbering me and Pauline real good. Those are fighting words, my friend. En route to Grumpy, I stumbled upon this layer's giant fossil, the largest sea urchin I've ever laid eyes on, and was also introduced to this new snake switch contraption. Basically, it could alternate between two different synthetic suns, casting shadows in two directions. Paired with these weird little clouds that only materialized as platforms in the shade, it made for a very confusing and annoying puzzle section, in my opinion. Eventually, though, I resorted to the good old Ostrich Bananza to help me get around and made it past, bringing me to yet another face-off against Grumpy Kong. And he was back with a new and improved behemoth. But unlike Poppy's perfume, Grumpy's craftsmanship was clearly a big upgrade. Just one swing of his boom bomb hammer sent me flying back. The second I realized I could take chunks out of it though, it was so over. I started ripping pieces off and lobbing them back at him, breaking down his armor until he was helpless against my flurry of punches. Really felt bad for the guy, but suddenly in the throes of his defeat, the ground underneath us began pounding. Then the biggest elevator I'd ever seen, no doubt the massive one Pauline mentioned earlier, exploded from the earth and swallowed Pauline whole.
The eels are evil, and Pauline is dead. I can't believe it. I thought it was Pauline and I until the end.
Donkey Kong was taking Pauline's absence particularly hard, but what's more,
I can't Bananza because I don't have Pauline. I am but a monkey.
I was briskly thrown in a jail cell, held under suspicion of wrecking their disco. One of the Fractone guards warned me that the floor might cave in, so I made their concern a reality and escaped my cell through the tunnel system below. I guess I didn't seem like a bad guy, so they just let me go. Immensely robust justice system here, as you can tell. To my surprise, I found that Poppy Kong had been locked up too. She explained to me that Void Kong had brainwashed the great Harmoneel as part of his big plan, and as a thank you for this info, I freed her and then headed toward the prison exit. Completely uninterrupted. No like, I just really can't believe that. For being called the Groove Layer, the place was strangely quiet. Poppy did some reconnaissance for me using her invisibility perfume and found that a Terravoider was placed behind each door, blocking the music tracks from getting through. Through the first door was the source of the beat, muffled behind two ominous monkey walls and chunks of purple metal, but once I cleared the metal away, the rhythm kicked in again. With the beat and bass tunnels cleared out and those pulses now transmitting to the disco hall, all we had left was the melody. And with that done and dusted, I had restored all the tracks, meaning the Groove Layer was bumping once more. And having joined in myself, the DK chest thumps really kicked the music into overdrive.
It's the eel!
And they're free?
This is my jam. Okay, can I have my friend back, please? Did I swallow her? I know. How about you take a dive through my belly and see if you can get her out? Oh, jeez. No. I don't know if I like all that.
But it seemed like I had no other choice, so I hopped into the barrel cannon and shot myself straight down the Harmoneel's gullet. Once inside, I immediately spotted Pauline back in her rock form and attached to some kind of Voidco prison. I was dive punching as fast as I could, making no apparent progress, until I realized Pauline was sending out boulders for me to punch back.
Oh, I get it. I get it. Wait, throw more rocks.
I destroyed the contraption imprisoning her and finally caught up to Pauline, who had returned to her human form. As we continued traveling through the digestive tract of this fish, she told me how our partnership unlocked her love of singing and that if we could make it back to the surface, we could truly make her dreams come true. A precious moment we shared as we were actively ejected into the feast layer. And boy, oh boy, it was immediately evident that they had a bit of like a muck problem just oozing all over the place. It could be removed by throwing chunks of salt at it, but definitely did not seem food safe. Apparently there was also a banana burger kicking around, which greatly piqued my interest. However, I decided to do the responsible thing and take the elevator back to the Radiance Layer to finish 100%ing that first. With all the fossil maps purchased, I hunted them down one by one, eventually finishing it up and moving on to the bananas. Those didn't really take too long, and with 70,000 cubic meters of crystal destroyed and our final one claimed, I figured I'd bust out the Groove Layer as well. There were still plenty of Banandium gems left to find throughout, enough to amass 6 skill points, which I used to unlock better inhaling and stronger lungs. As a weak-lunged asthmatic in real life, I sure wish. My banana hunt ended with a bang, destroying this disco ball that had a gem hiding within, and with all the bananas and beaver fossils in my possession, it was finally time to return to the feast layer.
Come all enjoy a perfect view of our banana burger production line from the observation deck. Actually, scratch that. Already forgot. We halted banana burger production because of all the muck, but we hate to leave our guests hungry. Oh no! Not the burger! If you're willing, you could take a tour of the factory and help us resume production at the same time.
I was pretty excited for my little factory tour, but I also needed to keep an eye out for the 5 burger buttons to press, which seemed easy enough. After treating myself to a steamed and salted banana and finding my first cathode ray tube television, I made my way to the Royal Oil Cruise, a river of frying oil that usually powers the entire factory if not for the muck clogging the system. Boarding a barge of salt, I started throwing chunks and clearing the place up, eventually reaching my first burger button.
Lettuce!
Pushing the second caused a couple more banana patties to fall from the sky, but after checking them out up close and burning myself in fry oil, it was on to the main course, a roller coaster. Before boarding, I activated my zebra Bananza and ran up this spiraling path of crumbling cheese to press the 3rd burger button. And from there, I hopped on the roller coaster headed toward the ferocious fry house, eventually reaching a delightful boss battle.
Yay! Oh, I love these levels. I mean, not yay, not good that this is happening. You get it, you get it.
My buddy, the Mad Mixer, and now back with lasers. I love that for him. King. With balls of salt at the ready, I had the time of my life, slowly chipping away at the protective layer of muck and the mixer itself.
It's so good. It's so good.
And having defeated the Mad Mixer once again, I'd reached the 4th burger button, earning 2 more banana patties. This left just 1 more button to press, and while looking for it, I happened upon the layer's big fossil trapped in some muck. So I'm looking at that thing, and my first thought, I'm like, I need salt, you know? So I'm running around and whatever. And in my hunt for some, I actually ended up clearing this purple metal and getting the Ferris wheel going again. Not my original intention, but you are welcome. This did help me discover a big pile of salt too, and with it, I freed the giant fossil, which turned out to be a Bobot. With that done, the hunt for our final burger button continued, and in bypassing this entire swing section with an Ostrich Bananza, I finally found it. Good news, the massive burger we'd been building was finally complete. Bad news, Void Kong is back and very upset. In his little hissy fit of rage, Void Kong placed another stake at the top of the burger. This didn't really pose much of a challenge as I just climbed up and found the key inside the burger, but this brought me to sublayer 1401.
It's cheesy down here.
According to this fractone, this sub area is where they keep all the salt safely stored under a metal barrier that even I could not break through. Meanwhile, these orange slug-like muckoids were slinging toxic balls of spit at me. I mean, this would prove to be their own undoing, as these projectiles actually ate through the metal floor, giving me access to the salt I needed to take them out. But this was only the beginning. The loading bay was filled with goop, so naturally, I dove headfirst into this pit to find the source. And oh boy, did I. Muckety Muck was a severely goopy dude, but like all the muck throughout the layer, he was no match for a good chunk of salt, and as he reeled, I was given an opportunity to rough him up. As his health dwindled though, his tactics changed, and I will be honest, for a second there, I thought I was a goner. With just 2 hearts and a dream, I was able to finish him off, officially clearing the source of the muck. In celebration, I collected the remaining bananas, old tires, and TVs. Forgot to mention the fossils in this layer are literally just garbage, but on the way to the last Banandium gem, I somehow lost not 1, but 2 records.
Like, I really need them. I only have like 29 out of 100 and something. Like, I need those, and they keep dropping in the oil.
I think we're just gonna have to cross that bridge when we get there. Having collected every banana, fossil, and feast layer outfit, Pauline and I bid adieu to this slimy land.
I'm so nervous. Are we at the core already?
Soaring down our next tunnel, I spotted a golden light and dozens of golden roots growing from it. Surely this must be the planet core.
Oh, it's bright. Oh, wow. The center of the planet is so bright.
As it turned out though, we weren't there quite yet.
Forbidden layer? Let's proceed, I guess.
Pauline and I stepped from this weird metallic cave into the do not enter depths, and in the distance, I saw it. The real planet core, and right above it, Void Kong's dirt pile. The Banandium Root was within reach, but getting there turned out to be a lot less simple than anticipated.
Get out. This place is off limits.
Oh, bribery. No.
Yeah.
Rest easy, my 2,000 gold. At first, nothing seemed to change at all, but the payoff for this was crucial, expanding the area where I could throw chunks of terrain and create paths to nearby islands. Felt like we were making pretty good progress, but then I was stopped by yet another Securitone who requested a whopping 5,000 gold. I begrudgingly paid this fee, but as we made it closer to the planet core, the higher the bribe became.
Please, I could take out a loan. Is there like a banker or a loan or some kind of advance on my something.
I literally did not have enough money to continue. And if that wasn't enough of a sign to quit, there was also an actual sign telling me to leave. But I'd come too far to turn back.
Do you think I could just fly there? Oh my gosh, there's like a turret. Okay, this feels like a little bit less of a good idea now. Don't push your luck. Okay, well, here I am pushing it.
I was actually making it really far with Ostrich Bananza, and by chaining it with a snake jump for extra height, I made it to what I assumed was the entrance to the planet core. Suck on that, secure a tone.
What is this? Long ago, a surface dweller came here looking for the Banandium Root. The intruder forced their way through here, but never came back out. Surely it goes better for me, right?
Using Kong Bananza, I smashed through several layers of concrete until I reached the gone too far frontier, making my way to the golden core.
Feels too easy. Oh goodness, what is going on?
At last, we had made it to the Banandium Root, but we weren't the first ones here. Suddenly, it became clear why Void Kong needed Pauline's singing power so bad. The Banandium Root was asleep, and only her voice could wake it up. She refused to help Void Kong, but in return, he activated his dirt pile's amplification, shooting us back to the start of the layer. I fought my way back to the Banandium Root and tried to wake it up myself with a little smashy, but I think I completely misunderstood that this was intended to be a boss battle, and by the time I realized, Void Kong was all the way back on the starting island, kinda out of reach.
Oh, I think I misunderstood the assignment. Okay, we're gonna have to run it back.
This time, I made contact with Void Kong and actually started the battle, and it wasn't all that bad. Each punch did a pretty decent chunk to his health, and if it weren't for all these missile projectiles flying around, it probably would have been over in an instant. Sensing this, Void Kong turned on his defensive shield, leaving me to run around and destroy his machines to deactivate it. Still, I closed in and finished the job. Or so I thought. In one final act of desperation, he pushed a button on his very cute banana remote, sending a powerful beam right at me, and when the dust settled...
No! Wait, what?
Void Kong had outsmarted us. By turning me into a rock, he was putting Pauline in an impossible situation. Refused to sing, and I'm a rock forever. Free me with her voice, and she'd wake up the Banandium Root for Void Kong in the process. But there was one thing Void Kong hadn't planned for.
I can drum beat, even as a rock?
Inspired by the beat, Pauline broke into song, risking the success of Void Kong's nefarious plans just to save me.
I'm back, baby!
And just as Void Kong wanted, Pauline had awakened the Banandium Root, but just as he reached it, a bloodshot eye and a kinda nasty green hand emerged, smacking him to the dirt pile from whence he came, leaving only his banana remote.
Ring, ring, banana phone. Wait! I know that guy! King K. Rool!
Yeah, so that thing we thought was the Banandium Root was actually a prison holding King K. Rool in order to prevent him from reaching said Banandium Root. Oh, it all makes sense. Wait, no wonder everyone was super unwelcoming and rude and actively trying to prevent me from progressing in the game.
Okay, we gotta go. We gotta go.
I wasted no time chasing after him. We needed to put a stop to his plans before he got to the real Banandium Root. But we were in for a terrible surprise. King K. Rool's Kremlings had also been trapped down here. I mean, there was even a giant statue of him. The situation was much worse than I initially thought. Without a moment to spare, I hopped on a minecart in hot pursuit, navigating a whole bunch of these weird and challenging obstacles along the way. I eventually landed at the Kremling camp, and after getting stung by a wasp, actually happened upon this gold pillar that seemed to endlessly regenerate.
Can I do this for infinite money?
Yes, I could. Even with a dangerous crocodile closing in on literally just limitless power, I spent the next 3 minutes repeatedly destroying this golden pillar to make the money for a certain bribe I had yet to pay off. With my net worth above 5 figures though, I continued on my way chunk surfing through these thorns really badly. Also finding Cranky somehow.
How is Cranky getting to these places? Like, you are at the center of the earth, Cranky.
In no time, we'd reached the Banandium Root for real. My Banergy was going absolutely off the charts, but King K. Rool had already arrived.
Alright, let's do this thing. Ew, it's kind of nasty. Oh, it's bananas! No, it's delicious! Oh, nope, it's nasty again.
Evidently, King K. Rool had gotten to the Banandium Root first and just kindly waited until our arrival to make his wish.
What did you wish for, big man?
And upon first glance, his wish seemed to be some kind of like bad skin disease. Not only did the Banandium Root grant him 6 super banana themed accessories, but it also gave King K. Rool unprecedented power and a gun. I tried to chip away at his health with the Kong Bananza, but his firepower and the onslaught of banana sludge he was throwing my way was frankly overwhelming. Despite all of this, I will say I put up a good fight, whittling his health down to under half, but not before getting sucked into the vacuum gun itself and spat out. When King K. Rool whipped out his vacuum game again, I took it as an opportunity to do some real damage, only to get sucked in once more, forcing me to down my last apple juice. I was on my last line of health, playing out of my mind, but with how tanky this guy was, victory was no guarantee.
This is bad. This is a bad situation for us. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. So obnoxious. Just die, crumble, turn to ash. No!
With just a sliver of health left, I stuck it out, landing a flurry of punches as King K. Rool did some vacuuming, and just like that, he was out. From his general midsection area emerged the Banandium Root, and I was not about to lose this opportunity.
Oh, I get to make my wish? The surface, bananas. The surface, bananas.
Ultimately, Pauline and I had gone through so much together as we traveled from layer to layer, grown so close as a team, and even though I wanted nothing more than bananas, I chose surface to try and get her back home. The Banandium Root took our requests into consideration and transformed into the craziest banana-based mining drill I've ever seen, pummeling right into us and sending us on our way up to the surface, on the complete opposite side of the planet.
Wrong way. Like, completely wrong way, but okay.
After such an arduous journey, we'd gotten everything we ever wanted. A safe return to the surface and enough bananas to last a lifetime. It was finally the end. Or was it? King K. Rool was down, but by no means was he out, pulling up in a propeller jetpack.
Are we gonna fight on this? What? Well, this is unexpected.
I tried to knock him out of the air by throwing chunks of banana, and I gotta hand it to him, the guy just won't quit. Even as we broke through the surface, he was right on our tail. Only now, Pauline and I weren't underground anymore.
Wait, this is New Donk City? Wait, no way! Oh, no way! That's so cool!
What isn't cool is King K. Rool actually managing to catch up to us and stealing the Banandium Root again.
We gotta stop letting this guy get the Banandium Root. Like, it's getting out of hand.
And let me tell you, King K. Rool in New Donk City was a whole other beast. Using the power of the Banandium Root, he flooded the city with molten banana mush, erected a statue of himself, and plastered his own name everywhere. Yes, we'd gotten Pauline back home, but with it entirely taken over by an evil crocodile, our work wasn't done. We needed to, as Pauline put it, go Bananza on him. Strategically using my different Bananza powers, we navigated the city, playing the scariest version of the floor is lava to ever exist. And continuing to climb upwards, I had a feeling we'd soon be arriving at our final showdown.
This is so cool.
I say as I proceed to fall into molten banana goop and die. But we were so back, and this time I made it to this wrestling ring in the sky, ready to defeat King K. Rool once and for all. The corrupted Banandium Root was hitting way different than I expected, though.
What?
He was now K. Rool, King of Rot, and those pesky banana sludge attacks were stronger than ever. I used my Elephant Bananza inhalation powers to keep the arena clean, but to my surprise, normal punches were doing barely any damage at all. It seemed like the only way to progress was to suck up the rotten banana goop and throw the balls back at him. I called it the suck and huck, and in all fairness, it's not even that much more effective. Also, definitely was not prepared for the halftime change-up.
Wait, what? Where'd he go?
Ah!
Yo! Oh my god, what is happening?
The King of Rot came back with a vengeance. With sludge covering the arena, pillars erupting all around me, the swerving balls. It was all incredibly overwhelming, and it was only a matter of time before I fumbled. But I knew I could do it. After fueling up on some apple juices at the nearest shop, I entered the battle for the second time, determined to fell him once and for all and save New Donk City.
What did I just do that made him, like, stop being the King of Rot? Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, DK, come on.
And with one final punch from my elephant fist, we sent the King of Rot into the stratosphere.
Was that it? Oh my gosh.
I'm going to make my greatest dream come true. That dream is to sing for everyone here. Will you come with me, DK?
Of course, I was 100% on board with helping to make Pauline's dream come true. Anything for you, m'lady. But all of a sudden, the banana goop covering New Donk City began to evaporate and fall down like little banana snowflakes. In my moment of banana fever, Pauline realized that I had my own dreams. Banana dreams, as it were. And that maybe we shouldn't hold each other back from following our own path.
Dang. That was nuts.
Oh my god.
That was crazy. That plot twist. Oh my gosh. It's Pauline in New Donk City.
Cut to 3 months later, we were back in the mines, hunting for bananas, on good terms with Poppy and Grumpy Kong now. Grumpy even put his building skills to good use, creating a warp gong for us, and when I checked it out...
Pauline!
She had huge news to share, a gig at the new Donk City Hall, and she'd come back to the underground world looking to find inspiration for a new song. Lucky for her, every elder we'd met on our journey was a DJ with music making expertise, so we decided to team up and go check in with all of them once again. Before doing this, I decided to take a look around Ingot Isle first, since a lot had changed in the last few months, including the cost of living. I mean, somehow 9,800 gold wasn't enough to get all 3 bananas from this fractone tree. But what on earth? Bankrupting myself for 2 bananas meant I had insufficient funds to pay for Grumpy Kong's next construction project, so we decided to just return to the Lagoon Layer and meet with Kong Elder. Now, basically upon revisiting each elder, we needed to do a Bananza rehearsal. This entails completing an extensive post-game kind of puzzle challenge in your different Bananza forms where you have to collect Banandium gems and balloons to unlock a special music disc. Having eaten far more than 300 bananas, it was time to begin our first rehearsal. I worked my way through each challenge with relative ease, finishing off with some Kong Bananza bowling. Apparently, this challenge taught Pauline how to project her voice, and it taught me how to learn Golden Kong Bananza skills. Also, another important little thing is that in the aftermath of defeating Void Kong and King K. Rool, extra Banandium gems had appeared on each layer. So I worked on that for a bit, punching water for 3 minutes straight to earn a Smash and Tones banana, and reuniting this dear family for the 56th and final banana of the Lagoon Layer. We took a quick pit stop at the Hilltop Layer for a 3-nanner snack, and then changed into matching mining gear to earn the final banana from this glam tone in the Canyon Layer. But our next point of musical training was at the Zebra Elder's Court, and for the sake of completion, I decided to collect all the remaining bananas in each layer before continuing to take on the rehearsals. So for the next while, we moved in on the Planet Core, which I'd barely had a chance to explore before. After literally decrowning King K. Rool and munching on a banana in his stomach, I purchased a large fossil map, and it turned out to be me! I'm really confused about the implication here. Like, who am I? With our final items collected, I returned to Ingot Isle, a financially prosperous monkey, and using the gold I collected in the Planet Core, I was finally able to pay off this greedy fractone tree. I also used my fossils to buy some fancy bridges that this glam tone really enjoyed, and seeing as I was quite liquid at the moment, I also checked in with Grumpy and gave him the capital for his next construction project. Oh, wouldn't you know it? More battle challenges! For some reason, I thought this would be like a one-off deal, but no. He immediately asked for an investment into yet another project, this one setting me back 10,000 gold. Okay! And this one was a gauntlet of boss battles. Is that it, sir? Oh no. Is that real? Okay, I'm just gonna do these, and then we'll deal with that later. Grumpy's battle challenges were, as expected, pretty challenging battles. I won't lie, they stressed me out a lot, but there was one silver lining to being repeatedly put through this torture. Some levels of this gauntlet were an absolute gold mine for music discs. Over the course of 30 minutes and multiple attempts, I managed to find 15 of them, which was pretty bonkers, considering up to this point, I'd only found about 40. I used this as motivation to carry on, but... Whoa. It didn't make the failures any less frustrating. I sucked it! Following many attempts, though, I'd made it to the final battle. Finally! This is so brutal. I'm scared. Are you kidding me? Yep, this was destroying me. Before long, though, I went up against the man himself and roughed him up just like every time before. Yes! That was so painful. That was so painful. Even though the battle challenges had me clinging to sanity by a thin thread, I went straight from there to the boss rush challenge. Essentially a series of rematches against familiar faces like the Inflaminite from the Freezer Layer and Abracadabra from the Forest Layer. Remember that guy? With the Blusterwing freed once more, the Muckety Muck destroyed by my trunkload of salt, and the Stompin' Clomper Clomp, I had officially conquered the boss rush challenge as well. Oh, thank you. Thanks everyone for coming out. It seemed like Grumpy's construction projects were all built, so I moved on to the Freezer Layer to start up our next rehearsal. Using the Zebra Bananza sprint power, I bolted through the course, collecting balloons wherever I could. There were some pretty neat moments in this one with like the mirroring goo mechanic from the Divide Layer that I actually really enjoyed, but I completed the challenge relatively easily, even earning the special music disc. After all this effort, though, Pauline was still musically uninspired and had only improved her enunciation. Ginormous L. And this meant we needed to head next to the Forest Layer, where I could only hope the Ostrich Elder would confer actually useful songwriting lessons. I will say, the Ostrich rehearsal was very fun. A lot of catching updrafts and flying around lava. I like that this one was a lot more open and you could kind of go through it however you wanted to. It made the balloons less frustrating to get for sure. At the end of it though, Pauline had learned nothing but breath control. Like, I'd be upset that none of it was translating to the actual songwriting she'd mentioned, but I don't really see how me running through obstacle courses is meant to help in that department, so I guess I get it. I'm just glad she's taken anything away from all this, to be frank. Still, I dropped into the Tempest Layer with much hope. Having collected all those balloons and bananas, Pauline had increased her vocal range, which seems slightly more vital. Also, I just want to say I was going to include more of the actual Bananza rehearsals, but honestly, it's just kind of like a puzzle gauntlet, and I didn't really know how to make that sound any more exciting than what it is. Plus, I think it's a fun post-game that you should probably just experience for yourself. Like, I enjoyed these a lot as little challenging bonus levels. Honestly, though, we'd been focused on Pauline's vocal development for so long that I decided to do something for me, returning to the racing layer to earn our final Banandium gem there. And this gem was obtained by winning the Rowdy race against Diddy and Dixie. I will not lie, though, I was gonna have to put in some work for this baby. The Rowdy race is so freaking hard. I was so behind on my first attempt, I didn't even end up finishing it. Slowly, I got the hang of using the lift-off ore for big strategic boosts, but even still, I kept coming up short. DK was losing his freaking marbles, and I don't even blame him. After I don't even know how many attempts, I'd finally reached a promising run, managing to catch up to Diddy and Dixie in the second lap and strategically using liftoffs to propel myself into first. I held a precarious lead all throughout lap 3, but Diddy and Dixie were right on my tail. I closed in on the finish line and somehow won the race. If you play it back, you can actually see the shards of the glass finish line from Diddy and Dixie too, so it was a tight finish. Still a win though, and with my final banana of the layer claimed, I got back on track, diving into the snake banana rehearsal. This one required lots of vertical jumping, as could be expected because snakes do that. But this was probably the first time I actually saw how useful the slow-mo ability was from the glare, allowing me to catch moving platforms before they slid into the lava. Halfway through, I earned myself a Banandium gem, and with the skill points I'd been saving, unlocked the golden vacuum ability, maxing out my elephant Bananza. By the end of this rehearsal, Pauline still hadn't gleaned much inspiration for her song, which left one last stop, to head to the planet core, because things went so well last time we were there. Before traveling down though, I made a pit stop in the groove layer and found that the disco I'd previously fixed was once again lifeless. Problem number 1, the speakers needed to be rebuilt, but our favorite monkey contractor hadn't been paid yet. Okay, yeah, no worries. Have your 20,000 gold. I had no other use for that. Problem number 2, the groove tone performers were feeling shy. I went on a little journey to get all 4 back on stage, and once they were up there, the place started bumping once more, and I earned the layer's penultimate banana. There was other business to attend to in this layer though, specifically inside the fossil museum. At this point, I thought I'd earned all of them, but realized there was an installation missing. Oh, I thought to myself, right, okay, I still have 9 frogs to find in the forbidden layer. I headed straight there, took a quick trip to the planet core to farm gold and recoup the loss of Grumpy's never-ending construction project. Also paid off the greediest Securitone and got the last Banandium gem in the layer from Grumpy, which was very sweet. He says it's not an apology, but I mean, we love an accountable king. And with all 30 frog fossils in my pockets, I hauled them back to the fossil museum to find the exhibit still empty. Incredibly confusing, but then it clicked for me. The Fractones were collecting these when I purchased things from them, which meant I still had things to buy from some of the shops. With this revelation, I went on a quick shopping spree, offloading all my fossils in exchange for outfits and fur dye. When I returned, there was a juicy Banandium gem waiting for me, the final one for the groove layer. With only 2 bananas left to find in the planet core, it was time to travel back down for our final challenge. And it was here that I stumbled upon the Harmoneel. What a beautiful creature. No longer under the control of Void Kong, the Harmoneel turned out to be a very pleasant guy and offered to help with Pauline's song. Just jump inside my windpipe and you're sure to find your musical inspiration. Very little choice, so we hopped straight into the Harmoneel's gullet. Welcome back to my windpipe. Thanks. Poor guy though. Their experience under Void Kong's mind control had screwed up their insides like bad. Like that. I'm no doctor, but this looks like straight to the ER with you. Thankfully, I had my handy explosive eggs, which allowed me to blow through the Harmoneel's blockages, but not without some slight ramifications to my health. Oh no. The plan is try my best and love myself no matter what. Ow. Apparently, I'd made it halfway through, but let us not forget, we were navigating the internal organs of a fish. What is happening? Like, what am I doing right now? Eel anatomy and like the laws of physics aside, I continued on my way collecting balloons for the exclusive Harmoneel music disc. And good lord, I ended up like a baby's breath away from death. With my Snake Bonanza glare, I was able to get past these burning barrels, only to jump straight off the edge of the level. Not my best moment. Also, quick question. Did the Harmoneel eat all of the elders? Follow-up question. I have died. Before jumping into my next attempt, I realized I wanted to finish all the other completion tasks before doing this grand finale. And this, of course, included collecting all the music discs, but I had a little bit of tech that I wanted to employ to make this task easier. With Pauline changed into a diva dress, I was able to double the music disc drops, and given that we'd had so much success earlier, I just ran through Grumpy's battle challenge course over and over again until I'd finally gotten over 100 discs. At some point, I noticed no more were dropping and realized all I had left were 2 discs that came from Bananza Rehearsals and 2 that I assumed were from finishing my final showdown inside the Harmoneel. With the others easily collected, it was time to prep for our greatest challenge yet, I slapped a Prime Feast outfit on Pauline to automatically restore my health during Bananzas and bought as many juices and balloons as possible.
Okay, all right, let's go.
With my abundance of healing items, the Harmoneel's windpipe went a lot smoother than last time. And after some agile zebra hops, I'd made it past the final section. Turns out I was like literally almost at the end of the level when I died earlier, but one golden thank you later, and I'd earned myself a juicy bunch of bananas using my skill points to fully upgrade my Zebra Bonanza abilities. All the elders were incredibly complimentary of our performance, but it was Kong Elder, the very first DJ we'd met on our journey, who left us with wise advice to move to the groove inside. Okay. Just then, I noticed Pauline singing and scatting, and there it was, the melody to her song. It only took, what, 5 extensive, strenuous rehearsal puzzle gauntlets to get the semblance of a tune, but it's okay. My effort was rewarded with the second to last music disc from the Harmoneel, but the last one required a final trip down its gullet to nab the one balloon I wasn't able to reach.
Yay! The final disc!
This was huge. All 110 discs collected, leaving only 2 things left to do before the game was officially 100%ed. For starters, I needed to give Grumpy 120,000 gold to complete his final construction project, and then all we'd have to do was max out the skill tree. Making that much gold was no small feat, so I changed Pauline into her mining gear, which doubles the amount of gold earned, and headed straight back to the planet core. I found that by sucking up all the gold produced by the Banandium Root and resetting the terrain, I could very tediously, but also very reliably, get a good amount of income going. And after about 30 minutes, I had done it.
So much money. This better be good, Grumpy. This better be good.
Was that genuinely torturous? Yes, but I've gotta be honest. Grumpy had outdone himself, completely restoring Ingot Isle to its pre-Void Kong glory. I even got an invisibility necktie from Poppy, which was pretty sweet, but the real gift awaited at the top of Ingot Isle.
That's me! Oh, there's a banana! Oh my gosh. The hero of Ingot Isle? I'm gonna throw up. Wait, this is so cute. And I think that this is our last Banandium gem ever.
False alarm, but after digging the second to last banana out of my own head...
All right, we have one more. I see it! That's the last one. Oh my gosh.
Now, all we had left to do was to max out our skill tree. Initially, I thought this was gonna be easy peasy lemon squeezy, but actually it turned out to be difficult, lemon difficult. So basically, one banana from the chip exchange costs 100 Banandium chips with a 300 gold processing fee. Just like genuinely highway robbery. This meant one skill point or 5 bananas would put us 500 chips and 1500 gold in the hole. And in total, we had to collect about 3,300-ish chips. To accomplish this, I basically just ran through this Wallopoid challenge in the Feast Layer over and over for an entire real-life day to farm them, and after hours of this, and even more time doing the actual chip exchanging, I unlocked the Golden Egg Bomb and Golden Jump, rounding out our skill tree. I had truly become the perfect Kong. And just like that, we had officially 100%ed Donkey Kong Bananza. From the surface of the Earth all the way to the planet's core, defeating an evil monkey and an eviler crocodile. It was truly a wild ride. That is all I have for today, but I will see you guys next time. Bye!